Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well. Oh my goodness me, have I got a beautiful card to show you. Now you've seen before, if you've been following me for a while, that I often do a black and white with a pop of colour series. Here is today's card. Black and white with a pop of red. And look, it's a zigzag card. I'm going to show you how to make the card base. I'm going to show you how to make all the mats and layers. I'm going to show you how to make these. Now these are all made using Julie Hickey's Floral Fancies and also her Fresh Florals die sets. These are absolutely beautiful. Made the backing papers on the back row, middle row. Then we've made these flowers. We've coloured these in. Aren't these beautiful? I hope you like these. Yeah. Can't wait to show you this. Really excited for this one because it's come out so beautifully. Let's have a look at how it's made. So I've got quite a lot to show you on this card, so I think I just need to crack on and get it done. But what we're going to be using is we're going to use two Julie Hickey Designs stamp and die sets. We're going to use the Floral Fancies stamp and die set, and we're also going to use the Fresh Florals stamp and die set. And what we're going to be doing, as you've just seen, is it's another card in my black and white series with just a little pop of colour. Oops, I think that one should have come out of there. And so yeah, so we're going to do it all with stamping and what have you to create that look. So the first thing I want to do, and I want to show you how I did this, is to make my card base. So my card base is here, and it is 5 inches wide. Yep. And I've adjusted this as I've gone along. It is now 5 3/4 high. It did start off by 5 by 7, but I knew I'd adjusted it quite a bit. It just wasn't looking right. So that's my first piece. Like I say, 5 by 5 3/4. And then I want to do this front piece on it. It's a zigzag. It looks complicated, but it's really simple. So what that will do is that will wrap around the front just there, get that in place, and create a zigzag element. Okay, now you could, if you've got some A3 card, you could potentially do that in one piece of card, but that gets complicated. This has been done from A4 card. So all I've done is from a piece of A4 or letter size card, I've cut a piece, let's remember, 4.5 inches high by 10.5 inches long. So remember, the front of my card was 5 inches wide. So what I need is 2 zigzag pieces at 5 inches wide. So I'm going to take the first one, and I'm going to go 5 inches. So that means my second one is 10 inches, and that will just leave me 1/2 inch. So I can take that away, and we can just put that there, and then I can bend these and score those. So one, just scoring it into the score, then I'll turn it and fold it. So this is going to go round my card like that, and then round the front, but at the moment it's not very zigzag. So all I did was I took it down 2 inches. So I wouldn't do this in with pencil on my final one, but I just want to show you how I did it. Measure 2 inches. So my card is going that way, so quite handy to measure it on the back. Then you take it from the point after the fold, so you can tuck the fold in if you want. So I'm going to take it from that point there down to there and cut. So I'm just going to draw that line in. So I'm going to take it from there up to there, and you can just do it on your paper trimmer. I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to cut away all of this from there. Can you see? So I'm left with that, and that will give me this. Can you see? There we go. So that is what I've got. Now I'm going to take my back piece of card, that's this one, and I'm just going to wrap these around. So I just want that to come right down to the bottom, and then I just need to make sure it presses in nice and tightly, and then it goes to the front. There we go. You can see like that. Now all I'm going to do, you could do it with wet glue, whatever. I'm going to just do it with some red liner. So I'm going to pop a piece on there, just because I'm making a card base, and so I need to know it's going to stick, and red liner really does. So if you've got some thicker red liner, I'm really getting low on my thicker sizes of my red liner. So pop that onto there, just give that a burnish because I can see it's not burnished properly. Once it's burnished properly, it holds. Then I can lift these off. Let's hope I've done this on the right side. I hope I have. I think I have. There we go. That's going to burn it. Yep. So I need to make... Oh, it's stuck. There it is. I need to put that down to that corner. Just start to bend it so I can see where it goes. Make sure it's flush with the bottom and square. Pop it down like that. Make sure it's square. And then just fold that one over. There we go. And that is my card base. Now, if you want to make it a little bit neater, what you can do is then put another piece of card on the back. I might do that at a later date and just cover up the workings. But that's my card base for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do black and white, as I said. So I'm going to take a circle. We're going to put that in the middle. And then I'm going to go in with white. And then I'm going to do some stamping on there, and then I'm going to go in with a piece that's going to stay white, just like that. But that's keeping a bit too much black and white. So what I thought I'd do is my pop of colour is going to be red. So I'm just going to get a red circle and pop those on here. So you can see I've used the consecutive sizes for there and consecutive sizes there, but just a nice gap between those two. So I've got those circles. But I don't want to stick it down just yet. So let's take this one. Let's move this out of the way. I said there's quite a lot going off in this card. So we're going to take this, and you can see where I've been prepping. And I'm just going to take, and this one's coming out of the Floral Fancies. I'm just going to use this one. Isn't that lovely? I'm going to take that, pop it on here. I'm going to get my memento, my black memento, and I'm just going to start stamping. Now, if you want to be methodical, you can do it really organised all the way around. And I'm making sure that I stamp off the edge. Now, what I'm trying to do as I go, one on, one a little bit off. So I want them to be at different orientations. So let's come on a little bit more. Don't want them too close together. I want a bit of white showing. If you're like me and you stamp a certain way. So let's go a little bit. You can see we're going at different heights all the way around. I'm just turning that because I find it easier to stamp a certain way. Just, I think I'll get 2 more in there. I won't get 3. So let's come down. That's it. That's going to be perfect. I'm going to end up with 2 quite high ones together, but never mind, it'll be fine. There we go. So you can see we've now stamped all the way around. And that's all I'm going to do there. I'm not going to add any more colour. But what that's now going to do is that's going to sit on here. And then those are going to sit on there. So that's going to look really lovely. I'm just going to leave that to dry off a little bit while we do the background, because the background's done in a very similar way. And I've got another piece of card. So if you remember, the back was 5 inches by 5 3/4. So I've taken a matte layer. My matte layer fits like that, and then that one will fit on there. So yeah, so that's going to go like that. So let's create a background. So for that, so we've just used the Floral Fancies. We're going to go to the Fresh Florals. Now, I have a lot of masks for these that I've cut out and made on previous occasions, and they're just stuck to a piece of acetate. So I'm just going to grab those, because what we're doing is I'm going to use 2 rocker blocks or stamping blocks, whatever you want, and I'm going to get a quick dry ink pad. So I'm going to take it first and do it over my red, and I'm just going to stamp once. Then I'm going to get my mask. I think, no, that one's not it. If you haven't got it right, you can tell straight away. Right, that one fits enough. Put that one onto here, so a little bit of the red leaves. and then I can turn it round and do the leaves. So if I lift that off, you can now see the leaves are coming from behind. But every time I do this, I want to twist it, turn it, and have it slightly different. So because that one went there, let's do one down here. Then let's pop the mask back on. I think it's that way. I turn the stamp, don't I, every time? So pop that on there. Then we can do the leaves. So you can see we're just building this up. We're creating our own background as we go. So what you can do as well is, at the moment I've not come off the edge, but what you can do is you can either come off the edge with some flowers, just like that, or you can come off the edge. Now the flowers, the leaves would be coming this way around, and then you just keep building it up and building it up until, oh, let me take that off so that you can see it. Can you see how it's building up? Lovely. That can go on there. Put the lid on, and then when it's finished, I will have that. There we go. Doesn't that look amazing? My own background. I'm really, really loving it. Let's just start putting a few bits together that we've got so far. So we don't need those, do we? We need that. And as I said, I've got my matte layer. Fits really nice like that. Then I've got my card. So let's put that on. And you won't be able to see it coming together. Now, if you wanted to, you could colour this in. But what I'm trying to do is just create that little pop of colour. So just a little bit of colour added to the black and white, because black and white is so striking. But sometimes if you just add that extra little bit of colour, it really, really works. And I've done a couple of cards this year like this. So this is my piece de resistance, the final one of 2024. I'll hopefully do some more next year, maybe look at something a little bit different, and we can do that as well. So that's going to go on there. Now, doesn't that look lovely? Now, if you wanted to, you could carry on that background on these zigzags, but I actually made a conscious choice not to do that. And what I have done is created these panels. Now, it looks complicated to do, but it really, really isn't. And then I've got panels to go on that side, just there. So I'll show you how easy it is to do. All I did was I worked out the height of there, and then I came down a little bit less. And then what I would do is I'd put it onto here, and you can see, I'll open it out so you can see. So that's going to sit, so you can see it's dropped down below there, and put it onto there. And then I'd get my white pen again, and then I would just put a marker there, and then I'd do exactly the same, and I'd go from that point down to there, and then I'd cut this piece away. And when you've cut this piece away, you end up with that. Can you see? Really, really easy to do. And then you do exactly the same with the white. Now, what you do, the only thing you have to remember is you're doing it in that direction on that one, and that direction on that one. So it's just about changing around. Now, lots of things you could do here. You could do a little bit of embossing on the white. You could do a little bit of inking, or as I've done, you could leave them totally white. And I have actually made a conscious decision. I think by the time I've finished, there'll be enough on here that I really don't need any more. This is supposed to be a black and white monochrome card. So we just want to make sure it works. So that goes there. That's going that side. Make sure you put the glue on the right side, Corrine. So it just takes a minute to work it out, how to cut them down. But all you do is you just start from one and then work it down all the way down. And it really is as simple as that. So that one's going to go there. Then we can flip that one over. And then this is going that way this time. So let's put some glue on there. And that's going on that side. It's harder to line up on that side, but what I'm trying to do is make sure that as I come down here, my black and my whites are all in a nice straight line. It just looks so much more professional. And then we can come on here. And that one is going like that. There we go. Just give that a bit of a press. If you want to, you've seen me do it before, all you need to do is just grab a plate, put that up there and put something on it for a few minutes. Okay, so let's get this bit a bit ready while that's going. All right, I need to nick the glue back. So we can do the pattern onto the black. Lovely, isn't it? I mean, you could be hunting for ages and ages for papers to all coordinate like this. But as soon as you start doing it yourself, it just works. I love it. And it's so special when you do it yourself, because it just, everything coordinates. And if you know me, I'm a bit of a coordinating princess. I do like everything to match. Okay, so let's go with my middle size foam pads, I think. And I'm going to turn this one over, put a piece on there, and a smaller piece down there, and a smaller piece down there. I'm going to use that in 1 minute, and that can come off just here. And that will then, if you want to, a little bit of wet glue in the middle will give you a bit of wiggle room when you're putting them on. Hopefully you can see that. And then I can just put that in the middle. Okay, now this is where you need to get this bit right. What I want to do is I want this to be roughly in the center of my card, like that. But I can't put the adhesive all over, because if I do, it's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift that up. I'm going to turn it over. And just with my pencil, it's going to be hard to see because it's pencil. Where's my pencil line gone there? I can see my pencil line there. There. Right. So I know my adhesive has to be below that line. If it comes above that line, what it's going to do is it's going to seal the card shut. And I don't want that. So I'm going to use plenty of foam tape. There we go. I'm just going to show you. So when I put this on, when I put that back in the centre, or roughly the centre, you can see that was going to go there, and the foam tape is hidden behind there. It's not going to be seen. So let's just, the difficult thing is to get it back at the same angle when you put it back on now. So I am definitely going to use a little bit of wet glue, but I know as long as I don't come up here, it will hold. And it won't seal the card shut. We've all done that. We've all done it before now. So let's just get the line right. It's about there. Oops, that's not right, is it? So then we can come up here and get that. It's not perfectly centered. That might be a little bit higher. Can I go a little bit more? There. That's a good thing about putting the wet glue on. There we are. I think that is pretty central, don't you? That looks to me to be pretty bob on in the middle. Or do I want it a little bit lower? I'm going to come down a little bit. Yeah, I prefer that bob down a bit, but still no foam tape showing, and we can put that. Right, that looks lovely, but we need some decoration. So you can see we've got our black and white with our pop of colour. So, and it stands like that. If you wanted to, you could put more circles on each layer, but I just thought one looks lovely. And you can see now why we don't need, and I've not finished, but we don't need any pattern here, otherwise it could be a little bit overpowering. So let's just put that there. I'm just going to put my block on top. Okay, so we now need to be working on my flowers. So let's have a look what we're going to do. We're going to get a piece of black card. See if this one's big enough for where we want it to go. I need to bring these back. Okay, that's covered in red. So this is the great thing, is I've used this on the background. And now I'm going to use it on the foreground. So I introduced you to this really recently. Now let me just see, is that, oh, I can just get on there, right. This is a new, to me, a new white ink pad. It says it's for mixed media. It's Memento Luxe and it's in wedding dress. And I know I put a link onto it on to Tuesday's project, but oh my goodness me, it's blown my mind. The quality of the ink is second to none. I thought I was using a good white ink pad, and this has just shown me how this is even more superior. Now, I've never done it with a rocker block before. I've always done it with my stamping platform, but look at that. Even with a rocker block, it works really, really well. So I'm going to take that, and I forgot to use my anti-static bag. Let's hope it works. Oh, not too bad. If you, like me, and you forget to use your anti-static bag, then all you need to do is grab a fine brush. That's me rushing. I should have. It shows, doesn't it? If you do it properly, it is quicker, because the time it's taken me to get the white bits off, I would have already been heat embossing by now. That'll be fine. Heat emboss it. You know, I always tell you how I find it. White embossing powder is a bit grainier than others, so it takes a little bit longer to heat. You need a hot heat gun, but then once it starts to turn, it turns really, really quickly. And then all you need is your die to put it on the right way. I don't think that's the right way. Just twiddle till you find it. See, it fits there, and then you would cut that out and you'd end up with that there we go. So we've got that. The only other thing I tend to do with these is I go down the edges and I just cut down like that, just to cut out, just down to the center. Just cut it down to the center, all the way down. Just makes it easier to shape. Now the other thing I want to stamp is I want to stamp some of these flowers again. Which one's this one out of? Not that one. It's out of, get the right set, Floral Fancies. That's this one. And also out of the Floral Fancies, I've stamped the foliage, and I've stamped a few of each of those now, and I've die cut them. So what I've got is I've got 2 of those. I want 2 of those, and then as many pieces of foliage as you want. And what we're going to do is we're going to colour this one a little bit. So we've got black and white, black and red, and then we've got some just black and white. So what I'm going to do is I've taken my dark red pen. I can't think of what the word I was going to say. My tri-blend pen. I do like that with the brush. It's alcohol ink rather than watercolour, but if you want to use watercolour, that would work. Or you could be using your paints, or you could be using pencils. You could be using whatever you want. Whatever is your favourite medium for colouring, then please do it. You know me, it's all about getting out there, finding your stash and using what you've got. So I'm just colouring in this bit. You can see just to here, all the way around. Now, some people would just do 1 petal at a time, but these are so small. I'm just going to do the same bits for all of them first. Just like that. Then I'm going to get the second colour, and I'm just going to do a few little flicks out to there. And this is why I like the brushes, because it just blends out, just to add that bit of dimension. Then I'm just going to take that colour and just do where it's folded over. It's a little bit darker. Because remember, we're doing red and black and white. So, oops, I went over a bit there. So it's absolutely fine. So my darker colour, I'm then just going to take right just from the centre. Now at the moment, I can see all my contrast. So I'm just going to get my palest one, and I'm just going to flick back into there, just like that, just to get rid of some of that blend. And that is all I'm going to do. I'm still going to do a bit like I did with the other one, and I'm just going to do a little bit of a cut down to there, just to the center, just because I want to shape them. Now if you were stamping or you were doing flat work, this would be absolutely fine, but because I want to shape, I need to do the shaping. So I've got that one, so I'll show you how. So I've got all of these. This one started to be shaped. Let me find that, and I want a tool, and then all I'm going to do is take it on the back and just give it a really good shape. But you can see, because I've done those cuts, it really does add a bit more shape. Let me just come into this one, see if I can get a bit more shape. Ah, there we are. I wonder if I was being a bit gentle earlier. Didn't help that I put the gem on that one. So then with this one, I'm going to come in. Now you're not going, and unless you're being really rough, you're not going to damage your heat emboss at all. It doesn't damage it at all. If you've got really lower quality products, then sometimes the heat emboss does crack, or the embossed lines do crack, should I say. But I find as long as you're using a good quality product, then it should be okay. This is a bit I really enjoy doing. So let's go with a little bit of wet glue on. Nope, I'll shut it. That would help if I opened it. Tacky glue in there. Come on. That's coming out. There we go. Just want a nice little bit in there. That's not going to be tacky for a minute. So I'm just going to have to put this on. And I'm just going to have to just put it where I want it and give it a little bit of a press. I always like to fold up the petals because I find that they do dry a little bit more shaped. So just hold that. If you want to use a hot glue, that would work too, but we're just going to hold that into place. And yeah, just hold that. Oh, there we go. I think that's caught. So I've got some gems, as you saw on that one. Let's put one of those. Well, that's not big enough. I'm going to see the white if I do that. Oh, that jumped away. Let's put a little, let's give them a little bit of a helping hand. A little bit of wet glue in there. A little bit of wet glue in there. That stuck to me. One in there. These are hunky-dory ones and they're really adhesive. And then stuck to the tweezers. One on there as well. Just holding that. There we go. Doesn't that look fantastic? And then, as I said, I've got the foliage. Not colouring it in because, as we said, we're doing a black and white card. Now, the other thing I've done is I have just taken one of my pre-printed sentiments and I've put that on. And I'm going to pop that. I was thinking I could have put it in one of those places, but we're not. We're just going to put it just there in a minute. So let's have a go. I have filled up my glue syringes, so let's start with the black one first, and we're going to be quite opulent here. So we're going to put plenty of 3D glue on, and we're going to pop that just there. Now, you know me, when I put flowers on, I like things to be clustered up quite well together. I don't like to see big gaps. So let's put red one there. Oh, doesn't that look lovely? Looks really, really nice. I'm so chuffed with how this is coming along. I think this might be my favourite black and white one so far. Sorry, you can't see. That was really bad of me to put that like that. So let's just go. I want to just add a little bit of dimension with this. Now, it'd be very tempting to start dropping in green foliage, but I just want to stick with the black and white. I think the dog snuck into my craft room. I can hear her snoring in the background. I don't know if you can hear her. She's snoring away. She often comes up here. She likes to be close. Right, so I've got that. I'm going to just do... that's so sorry if you heard a funny noise then. That was just Elsie. We're going to pop that just here. So I just need glue on this side. Again, as I always say, I'm quite a lazy crafter. So 3D glue works for me because I haven't got to mess around with foam pads. And we're going to pop that in there. I can still see the sentiment. I just need to make sure it's straight. And I think I want to use a little bit more of the foliage. 1, 2. Now, do I want some more in there? Great thing about wet glue is you've got time to move it. Now, we could be completely symmetrical, but sometimes it's nice to not be. Remember, whenever you're making cards, you can come off the side, you can come off the top, but remember, never come off the bottom or your cards won't stand up. And then I think, I don't like that there. Where do I want this one? It's getting caught under there, that's what it was. That's better. Wow, look at this. So chuffed with this, so pleased. So I've only got really, I've got a couple of these smaller ones. I'm actually going to have to do, I think I've just taken the stick off that. I'm going to have to do a big one, another big one, and then a small one. And do I want one there? No, I don't want one there. I know what I was going to do. I just think, I don't know. This is more than a pop of red. Where did that go? That went somewhere. This is a proper black and white and red. There we go. Look at that. Oh, I'm loving that. Really chuffed. So that will sit like that. You can write your sentiment on the back. Like I said, put another piece on the back to cover the workings. How about that? It feels like a really substantial card. It feels really, really good. I wasn't sure. Obviously, I cut a lot of the pieces, but I hadn't put it together before I did this. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. But oh my goodness me, I am so pleased with that. A little bit smaller than some that I do. I think my finished size, as I said, was 5 by 6 3/4. So yeah, it's not even a 5 by 7, but I think it works really well with the circle. I did start, no, 5 by 5 3/4, sorry. I did start with a 7 and it just looked silly. It had so much space up here. So there you go. How about that? I love that. That little twinkle. That is beautiful. There we go. Ooh. I'm losing my happy. Let's just pull it out a little bit. There we go. I hope you like that. Yeah, and I'm going to have to raise the stakes to think of another black and white with a pop of colour for next year, aren't I? I'm sure we can do it. I am sure we can do it. But there you go. That is today's project. I hope you like that. Yes. So thank you for watching. Please don't forget to come back soon. As always, plenty more cards to show you very soon. Please don't forget to click on any of the links down below. And of course, I will link to all of Julie's designs and her Sweet Honey Designs website, where you can find all of her projects. But once again, just to remind you, I've used fresh florals and floral fancies. There you go. So you've got the names of both of those sets if you want to find them, and they are both still available. You can find them on Craft Stash, and Julie has a whole list of her websites, and she's got lots of inspiration on how to use these sets. So there you go. I hope you like that. If you have enjoyed that, please consider subscribing up at the top. I really do appreciate every subscribe. I appreciate every click, and anybody that does contribute to my Buy Me a Coffee page. That really does help me when I need to keep buying odds and ends and bits of supplies. So thank you for watching, and I will be back very soon with another project. Bye for now.